is Eliani Campbell, the founder and the creator of the PhoenixUnleashed.com. Tonight I'm bringing to you Nicole Robinson. Nicole Robinson is the founder of the Hatz for Hearts Foundation, and she's going to tell you more about it. I came across her on Facebook, on another friend's Facebook, and was like, oh, man, I got to tell a story. You all know how I am. I love spreading good news. I love sharing the positive things that people are doing in our community, specifically the African-American community. So tonight I want to bring you Nicole Robinson. Nicole, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining me at the last minute, very last minute. And she was open to say, yeah, we can do it now. So thank you so much.
Thank you
and
for
how
having me.
How are you doing tonight?
I am doing wonderful. I'm so excited that you even wanted to talk to me. So I was so excited. I was like, yes.
Well, you got a lot of good things going on, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. But the first thing I want to ask you, I always ask the people I interview, my guests, I want to ask you, who is Nicole Robinson, the woman?
Wow, Nicole Robinson, the woman. Wow, she is a woman of faith. First, she's a mother. She's a grandmother. She's a professional woman and a student. Actually, I'm working on my doctorate right now at Pepperdine University, so I'm so grateful and thankful that God has just grounded me and shaped me and is still shaping me into the woman I am today. So I'm so thankful.
I'm really impressed. I mean, with everything that's going on in your life, you are still living, basically, is what I want to say. You're giving back to others, and you're working on your doctorate. Congratulations with that. That's very impressive. What I want you to do while we're talking about it, can you just go in and tell me more about your foundation, your movement?
Okay, wonderful. The foundation was actually created based off my recent diagnosis with breast cancer. I was actually diagnosed in March. Actually, I went for my normal mammogram, my annual mammogram, actually on Valentine's Day, believe it or not. I have my annual mammogram, do them every year. Last year, my mammogram was fine, and then just suddenly my life shifted. You know, it was just, okay, we saw something on your mammogram. Can you come back? And then at the same time, it seems like my body was really pretty much just under attack. I was having some issues with my colon. This whole shift kind of like took place instantly, right? So it was so just shocking when they said, okay, we need you to come back. Then it was like, okay, we need you to do a biopsy. And I'm like, a biopsy? They said, well, we saw something on your mammogram. Can you come back tomorrow to do a biopsy? And that's how I began. I did my biopsy, and it just seemed like the events just were so surreal, right? Because I was trying to find out my results, but I still didn't know what the answer was. And I finally had to call another doctor and say, I had that biopsy, but I don't know the results. I was wondering why I hadn't heard anything, right? Mm-hmm. And as shocking as it was when I finally spoke with the doctor, and she was like, are you somewhere that we can talk? And I'm like, yeah. I was actually at work. I'm like, yeah, sure. So I went in the conference room, and she's just like, I'm so sorry, And I'm like, I'm saying to myself, what are you sorry for? What are you sorry for? She's like, we got your results back from your biopsy. It's cancer. And I'm just like, I was just so shocked by the whole thing. And then immediately it went into appointments, testing, and it all started happening. But in the midst of it, even I did my first breakdown, my cry. I was like, wow, is this really happening to me? Mm-hmm. I was like, Lord. Mm-hmm. I was just like, Lord. And then I had to shake myself, like, okay, don't cry. Okay, you didn't cry about it. Don't cry. Let's do what you need to do. Okay. So
right.
The amazing thing, what was happening about it, I was like, well, you know what? I just want to, because everybody was concerned. I said, I just want to have some kind of gathering, some kind of party. Maybe I can just have people bring hats. I was actually telling my assistant that. And then I said, you know what? We can do? I can just collect hats, and then I can give them to cancer patients. And then the name came to me, Hatz for hearts, and hearts are actually the cancer patients. So I knew from the onset, the oncologist said, you're going to lose your hair. So I was just like, I'm going to lose my hair? I was like, like chemotherapy is just a reaction. You lose your hair, there's side effects, and here I was just stuck on losing my hair, right? Not even, It's crazy, but stuck on losing my hair. But the beautiful thing was I was just like, okay, I can collect hats, this organization, it could do a foundation to give back to somebody else. I was so thankful that the Lord allowed me to not focus on me, because it just lifted the weight, right? And then immediately everything just started happening. Had the first launch gathering, yesterday in St. Louis. I'm originally from St. Louis, living in Los Angeles now. And it was amazing. People came out to support the foundation. It was so amazing. Before I left home, I found out that the incorporation papers, were approved by the state of California. So it's just amazing that the movement and everybody's just so in support of the whole movement, the effort that's going to take forth. And I hope tomorrow to be able to deliver my first hat, to the site in the Cancer Center.
You've taken this whole situation, like I said, instead of focusing on what you're going through, you decided I'm going to give back to others. Absolutely. How, and I understand how it is, but how would you tell our audience, how is that you can do that?
You know what? To be honest, I'm just going to have to be honest. It's all God, because even in seeing people at the event on yesterday, and when you hear cancer, right, you hear cancer, it's so funny. My sister and I, we didn't want to call it cancer. We wanted to think of a name, so we named cancer Steve, so we wouldn't have to keep saying the word. But it was so funny. It was just amazing. It's all by the grace of God that he is just sustaining me, because if I think about if I wasn't rooted and grounded, I know it amazes me the strength that he's given me just to do it, and the ideas, and they just keep coming. So when he just gives me something, then I just move on it, and then it's just like direction. Okay, now you do this. Now you do this. And it amazes me just as much as I saw friends who are like, I just thought with having cancer, you would have lost weight, and so there's steroids and the chemo drugs, so I've gained weight. They were like, you look amazing. My skin has, my pigmentation has darkened my skin a little bit, but I feel great. It's amazing. Now, I do have my times where I'm just exhausted, and I have to just lay it down, and just rest my body. But believe you me, when I have the energy, I'm going, and then that's it. That's it.
Can I ask you this? Where do you see your organization going on to? I mean, I'm sure you have big plans, and where else do you see this going on? Do you want to do your movement in other states, other places when you get back home to California, or?
Actually, it's so amazing because I'm working on an actual launch event in Los Angeles. Actually, a gentleman that I was having a brunch for Mother's Day, just talking to him, and I told him I was looking for a place to have a launch party, and I told him about the foundation that I was creating. And it's just amazing how people just out of nowhere just offered their help, or just like, that sounds like a great idea. You can have it here. And it was so amazing. I was just like, are you kidding me? I was just like, I was saying to myself, I can't afford to have an event in this hotel in Beverly Hills. I was like, he's like, don't worry about that. We can have this going. And I was just like, this is amazing. But I see this foundation as being a national foundation, just reaching everybody everywhere, not just in St. Louis. Yes, I'm from St. Louis, born and raised, but also in L.A., just reaching out, just to give somebody just some hope, when you just go to visit someone who's going through something that's so traumatic as cancer, and to be able just to give them something and give back, just to make them smile, just to let them know that you're not alone in this fight, right? So that's
What words of encouragement, what would you tell a person that's going through what you're going through, or even a family member?
It's so funny because when everything happened to me, I kept telling my family and friends, I was like, just stay normal. I know this is what's happening to me, but I need you to stay you so I can stay me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but what I would say to someone else is just, this is not the end. You know, this is only a part of my journey, right? And it's not the end. So embrace it. And, you know, I was just so torn up about losing my hair. And it was so funny. I had to take my hat off in the airport when I was traveling home since I lost my hair. And, oh, my gosh, you're talking about fear, you know, that gripped me like that someone would see me or something like that. Or just to have someone look at you because you're different. But then, you know what, I'm embracing the difference that God has brought into my life. So I'm just encouraging the next person to have hope and that there might be dark days, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So I say be encouraged.